Wait, hold on. Cut the music. I said cut the music. Are we gonna ignore the fact that Lucky Chi stated previously that he was gonna give us the next podcast very soon? Thumbs down this guy. Thumbs down this guy. Because he took the same amount of time again. 6 chapters. Okay, on a serious note, to be specific, yes, took 6 weeks. Didn't mean to do that. I'll be honest. Didn't mean for it to take that long. A lot was going on, life, personal stuff, and it kind of got us to this particular point. But at the same time, it's kind of a downside on my end. Kind of worked on an opposite side of things too, because, well, number one, we have the anime. Look at that from a positive or negative viewpoint, whichever way it works for you guys. And we got the movie that came out on Blu-ray, which, talk about that towards the very end. And also the chapters themselves, the content that we have to cover, what we're going to dissect into, is going to be fantastic. And by we, you guys already know, I can't really do this by myself. So I've got a special friend / special guest with me today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Greetings, everyone. It is I, Sparda3g, back after 6 weeks of hiatus. Or was it 6 weeks, or is it really more than that? Could it be more than that? I think it is 6 weeks, or maybe it's a little bit more than that. But yeah, we were supposed to be back for a while, but as he said, life is full of surprises. And, same thing with me in a way. Hell, I would argue that there's a reason why a lot of people like to say, oh, sleep is for fools. And it's true. It's true. Damn, I hate my body. But still, it is human nature. And now, after a long hiatus, we're finally back. And it is I, Sparda3g, as I said before, back with another podcast with yours truly, Lucky Chi 7. And it's great to be back, if I may say. And boy, we have a lot to talk about, don't we?
We do. We do. We got a lot to talk about. Now, as you guys know, normally, well, before we had the anime, we usually just go to the chapter and just go right into it. But let's take the time right now, because the chapters is like gold. It's like heading out to sea and finding a treasure chest that's filled with a bunch of gold inside of it. So,
I thought you were talking about film gold, but so I was like, is it? Did they find a casino? I would love a casino.
Yes, that's exactly. Oh,
it's paradise, yeah.
It's paradise. We see it. Thank you. But like every journey, there's always the very dark side. To quote Snoke, as the dark rises, the light meets it. So you're wondering, okay, so the chapters are the light. So what's the darkness? Should be obvious. Should be very, very obvious what the darkness is. The anime for me, the first episode, finally dropped.
Dun, dun, dun. If only I could play the real sound, but yeah. that's the reaction I have. Yeah.
Now, for all the long-time viewers out there, you guys, or listeners, you guys all know how Spartan and I have felt about this entire thing. Since they announced that, oh yeah, we're gonna have an anime, it's like, well, if they ever came back, and when they did, it's like, not exactly the thing we were going to be most excited about. And to say the very least, our fears were 100% correct on that. However, I will say there are a couple of hidden gems within the anime, and you're like, what? What hidden gems? OST. Fantastic. always to be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Animation is pretty much on point. Opening visuals are a little spoilery. I'll say that. The song's
little.
alright.
Little?
Okay.
That's very generous.
Very generous. Extremely spoiler heavy on the opening as far as visuals go, but the song
it's the
itself.
Batman versus Superman. Batman
Yes,
versus Superman
exactly
trailer
that.
2 level. It tells you everything you need to know. It tells you there's a biggest surprise. There's no longer a surprise. Thank you. And it tells you who's gonna fight.
Yep.
So
That's pretty
not
much
much of a surprise.
But I'll say this. The song, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not unravel, but it's okay.
Better than Rude A, at least.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best I could say? Better than Rude A. So a lot of people really don't like the Rude A opening. Maybe because he's being too artistic for his own good.
Yeah. Well, then the opening for Rude A was kind of in one particular spot.
Like I said, it was trying to be very artsy, but no.
It didn't work whatsoever. And speaking of Rude A, which I think we should just go ahead and dive right into the episode itself. I love how we completely disregard Rude A.
Yeah. Just that poster just that very poster in 5 seconds in, that pretty much says, yeah, we're not following Rude A. And that poster happens to be Hide. Where is he? Where has he gone? Is he alive? Is he somewhere? Is he even dead? The answer should have been, he is dead. But since Rude A didn't happen, that means he's classified as a missing person. So yeah, that pretty much tells you, well, Rude A is not canon. It's a complete filler. As filler as the last couple of episodes of Blue Exorcist, as filler as, well, Soul Eater never made her season 2. So yeah, like the last episodes, as filler as those, as filler as any original indie anime that people tends to hate. So yeah, Rude is no longer canon. That being said, where do people have to start at exactly? Because everybody will remember season 1. Those who have watched season 1 remember where they stopped at. But when they go into season 3, where the hell do they need to begin at? What is happening? Do they have a new protagonist? Who is the Sasuke guy? What happened to Kaneki? Why no Kaneki? It's like the manga all over again. Only this time, they have a legitimate reason to be confused because Rude A season 2 never happened. So nobody knows what happened to Kaneki. Nobody knows what happened to everything that happened to this moment. Prior to this moment, nobody knows exactly if this is even a spinoff, all because it doesn't call Tokyo Ghoul the second season or the Tokyo Ghoul the part 2, Tokyo Ghoul Z, nothing like that. It called Red. It's like, what the hell is Red? Even though that is there's a big reason for that name, but
there is.
of course, the anime viewers won't know until they get to that point, which they may not see for another decade or so. So funny. It's very funny right now. It's a very, very funny situation that every manga fans are like, oh dear, we got to tell them everything we need to tell them, don't we? But hey, look at the bright side. This is the best time to start persuading everyone to read a manga. Like, well, my good friend, allow me to explain this. If you read this manga from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 144, you will know the entire story. And then when you read Red, you actually know these characters are more than meets the eye. So it would have been a great time to do that. Yeah. So it's a win-win situation for the manga fans if they choose to start persuading people. Kind of like those guys at New York City where there's like, oh, excuse me, sir, I believe you dropped your tie. Oh, it's right there. But you know what would have been amusing? If you sign up for this day, this thing. It's like a real short thing. So basically what I'm saying is every manga fan should start becoming that kind of person. Start talking to them, be a salesman, and just start persuading everybody to read a manga because now is the best time to do so.
Yeah.
I'm done.
It's true. No, it's honestly true. And I remember we stated this like time and time again, but Even if they completely disregarded Route A, people are gonna be confused, and that's what this first episode did. Like all the anime viewers are like, but wait, hold on. But last we checked, Hide was. But what?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
Where's Toka? I mean, it's still the opening, but what? She gonna meet the new guy? She's gonna be like in this new guy instead of Kaneki because Kaneki is either dead or alive. What happened? I don't get it. Why Kaneki? If that's Kaneki inside of Sasuke, why did Kaneki become a Quinque? What's going on here too?
To get what happened there, like why is Hinami like in the car with the overall villains that the first episode was? Like how?
Yes, true.
How did we get there?
That is true too. See, this is very confusing.
It's very confusing. They take a psychological thriller, which is Tokyo Ghoul. I'm not even joking when I say this. They literally took the first 6 chapters of the manga, 131 pages if we're looking at the volume, put in one episode. Put all
That's
131
amazing.
pages in one episode.
Oh, it's amazing. That's a hell of an accomplishment. They managed to top season 1 by having 1 extra chapter. That's that's amazing. They got to give it. I should give it a hand for that. Honestly, I should give a hand to them.
Good job, Period. Good job. You never cease to amaze me.
It's amazing that it's amazing how rushed it was, especially even if you don't include the fact that I never read the series. It is rushed because it's funny how it's like, okay, we got to investigate the guy who has been killing people. He's like the torso. He's considered like a torso guy. So we got to find him. Oh, there he is. In the anime, they did that way. But in the manga, it's like, damn, we've been trying to find him for weeks. This guy has been killing left and right. There's a report. There's a reason why we're doing this. There's a reason why we're investigating for a long time. And we found our luck. We just have to hope for the best that Buski doesn't get caught into this very predicament problem, which she ended up doing. And shit, this is scary. We don't know if she's gonna get caught. Oh, damn it, she got caught. But in this version, oh, let me go in a taxi. Aha, I got you. Like, oh, that was quick. I was like,
not only that, but the fact that they completely glossed over that too.
I know that like
there's so much stuff that they glossed over. They glossed over that. They glossed over. I mean, they showed a little bit of the Akira and Sasuke bits, but they didn't show a lot of it.
They didn't show the real reason why she did the punch in the first place. Instead, they just made it like, you stupid dumbass. Like, I'm being a hard ass person because, every anime character has that, right? I mean, that's true, but her stance was more reasonable if you follow the manga because it makes more sense with the manga case, with the manga version, because it was more elaborated on why she did the punch and why Sasuke does deserve that punch to begin with. In this version, it's more like, well, I'm the protagonist from a shonen series, so I'm going to do something stupid or say something stupid or say something unreasonable doubt. I don't know. Like it does feel like it has been downtoned drastically, and it happened in season 1. It happened Rude, very much so. So I guess there's no difference here, which is a bummer. And yeah, it's best to say if you really wanted the actual adaptation, you just have to keep praying for the reboot. But anything that comes from Studio Period is the thing is, Tokyo Ghoul Red anime made me realize 100% sure that the anime series, the anime version of Tokyo Ghoul is not going to be complex. It's not going to be anything near the same as the manga. It's going to be the most simplified version you can possibly ask for. It's like watching a recap movie without being a movie. It's pretty much what you see, what you get. You see the highlight moments. You see a very, very, very straightforward narrative. of these characters without going in depth, without going into backstory, without going into background, without showing more layers of their characters, any of that. You're just gonna see the most basic level of their. It's like a recap movie. You're just only going to see like what happened, how it happened, but you won't find out maybe not why. You won't find out what makes it happen. What does this? What does that? What leads to that? What builds up for that? None. It's just straight to the point. Get to the highlight.
Which is a real shame, honestly. It really is, because if you guys actually, read the original manga, read the first 6 chapters of like, there is so much to dive into those 6 chapters, and it's like, especially now, I'm not gonna lie, the scene with Kaneki like calling out to Heise, cool. I'll say that it was cool, but when I look at it from the perspective of the manga and then look at the anime, it's like forced in a lot of ways. But
Force?
forced and natural, I don't know. What about
Oh,
you?
yeah, I know what you're saying. No, I know. Well, you talk about the Kaneki scene in the first episode, right? Like when he just like spoke up, like, "Hey, you're so weak.
Yeah.
Come on, use me." Yeah, that part.
Mhm.
Well, I said this in a post. The anime is clearly wants to get to the highlighted moment because if you look at the first episode of season one, they get straight to the action scene the very first time. Because if you would have followed the manga pacing, you would have been like, so I'm trying to figure it out what the series is going to be. It's going to be like a horror film where the character has to run away from ghoul or anything like that. I do wonder, but I'm curious. But in the anime version, it's like, okay, so he got attacked by a ghoul because he didn't know better, and now this is how the action works. Two ghouls fighting with their Kagane that glows in the dark for some reason. Yeah, that's your action for this point forward. Oh, okay, cool. So at least I know, even though that seems very shonish, but whatever.
Mhm.
So in this case, of course they're gonna rush all the way to 6 episodes, 6 chapters, because that's where the first action, the real action, not the action that would have been okay with the whole taxi driving stuff. I would, well, the first guy, the first ghoul, I would have been fine with that if that was like only one chapter, one episode, or at least they
Mhm.
half the episode. But no, they needed to show you the highlighted moment, which is Kaneki is actually Sasuke, or vice versa, excuse me.
One of
But
the two, yeah.
point is, yeah, but the point is, yeah, like you said, it doesn't feel as like as
It
impactful.
didn't feel as like, because I remember specifically in the manga, like it was like it was building up to that. Like there'd be like these little instances here and there where you would have like Sasuke like hearing a voice and him just kind of like brushing it off, to when you get that moment in the manga, it's like, whoa, oh shit. And in the anime, it's like, so what just happened?
Yeah, the thing with the anime, they build up to it. It's like they build up like there was like some struggle that he has with his other side, and then that other side ends up being Kaneki. So it was like giving you that, something's up with him. Wonder what's with that story. So with the anime, it just goes straight to it. It's like there's no build up, there's no inner monologue that heightens the attention of like what is going on with this character Sasuke. It seems like there's more than just him being like a friendly father figure for these rookies. It's something about him. I don't know. I have my suspicions. But in the anime version, it's pretty much get to it. Get to that point already. It's like, what point? Oh, the point where this random ghoul start attacking and the main character has no choice but to use the other side of him, the ghoul side. It's like, yeah, I get to that. But what about characters? No, don't worry about it. We're just highlighting stuff. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
I mean, it's like
So yeah,
it's like, you want a character here, we'll give you Uri. I'm like, okay.
right. It's kind of ironic because it feels like the anime is more catered to the manga fans when you think about it, because it's like you don't need to worry about the storyline. You don't need to worry about a lot of info coming to you. You don't need to worry about anything. All you hear is to see your favorite part getting animated. Like you want to see that part where he fight Jason in season one. We'll get to that very soon. You don't need to wait like 28 episodes in or whatever. because we're gonna rush this thing. We're not gonna give you all the backstory, lore, anything important. We're just gonna give you the highlights because that's what we do. You know, that's pretty much what it feels like with Tokyo Ghoul Red episode 1, at the very least episode 1, because that's the impression I'm going in. The fact that they try not to let the audience know, it's not like what
That
series
there's
is
also
this?
no space to like breathe too. That's the other thing.
That's another problem. It's like there's nothing. We don't have any room to digest the info. To just digest the scene. Like, damn, that scene was very strange. But I really wonder. Oh, never mind. We're up to that point. It's funny because it's like the whole torso thing. Yeah, it kind of reminded me with like that one, like the how like a video game. They would tell you like there's this very scary monster right there. Like, all right, cool. And you know, in a lot of games, especially like Zelda, they build up, like, damn, this Ganon sounds like very, very scary as hell. And then when you fight Ganon, it's like, holy shit, this guy's hard. But with like certain games, it'd be like, oh, you know, this is monster right there. And then once you enter the room, the monster's right there. It's like, oh, no hype, no tension, no fear. You just see it right away. So that's what Torso Guy, the anime version, got. Because in the manga, it was more like building up, like, yo, it's like, this guy sounds very scary because he's like a crazy serial killer. Only problem is he's a ghoul, so that makes it more horrifying. So when he gets to that scene, it's like, shit, this is bad. But in the anime, it's like, oh, that was quick. All right. Oh, there's a monster, fight him. You know, that was like waste no time. It doesn't leave any tension, doesn't leave anything to think about it. It just goes straight to the point. Like I said, it's like a recap movie. But yeah, that is definitely another problem. Like there's no room to breathe, no room to digest the scene, anything like that.
Yeah, and that also kind of leaves me worried of because again, this is episode 1 of 12, which yes, there's one thing that's consistent with the anime: 12 episodes.
12 episodes. They sure love the number 12. Damn 12. Can't even do 13.
Or 14. What the earliest 14?
I know. It's like I know the general rule. Well, more like how the anime industry kind of sees it. For every season, it's usually be like 12, 13 episode. I know some I know some tends to go like 17 or even like 20, but those are like a rare case. And that, with that being said, why Tokyo Ghoul can't be that rare case? Why he has to follow along with the 12 episode trend, 24 episode trend. 24 episode would have benefited, especially if they're gonna cover 2 arcs. That would have
Oh, it would
helped.
have worked
Like
perfectly.
it would have worked nearly perfect, if anything. But since it's 12 episode, I don't know what to expect. I feel like I'm going to see end up honestly speaking, I think we're going to see this series to be like the last Airbender in terms of movie transition. But in this case, it would be the anime because something tells me they're going to skip not just infos, but they're going to skip a lot of characters as well. I feel like they're gonna don't downplay. Like I'm gonna expect. Like I feel like something about it. Like, oh, remember that guy had a great moment in this scene? He's not getting that anymore because he's not Kaneki. Like I don't know. Like I feel like there's something like that that's going to happen, or they might even change the scene for all I know. Wait, why Kaneki is in the mansion and try to arrest this guy? Shouldn't it be Uri to do that job? What's going on here?
I do feel like that's what's probably going to happen too.
Like they're gonna alter the scene a lot. Like in season 1, there's a lot of alternation, and I'm not talking about the whole change the arc sequence around. To be honest, that's like one of the better thing that the
Oh yeah,
studio
that's
probably
something
has
I can
done.
argue. Like I think as far as season 1 goes, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No, it's all right.
when it came to season 1, like having the Tsukiyama arc before the Hinami arc, I actually think was kind of a smart play on the studio's part. But that's the thing. Like, what are they gonna do? Like with Re, because the prediction that I'm seeing, and it's kind of been going around, is like, well, okay, given how this first episode's going, and what the pattern could be for like the next 12. I mean, what does I hate to say? I think we're gonna see the auction stuff like soon. Like say I don't know, episodes 3, 4-ish, maybe 5. I know some like it's like, oh, but the auction stuff has good stuff, yeah. But the thing that Sparta and I are bringing up is the fact that we're gonna get those moments, yes, but again, no build up, no breather, just here you go. That's it. You get like
You
a
might
Cliff Notes version of it.
you might as well call there we go. That's the word I'm looking for. A Cliff Note version. We pretty much have a Cliff Note version of Tokyo Ghoul Red. Or if you like to think even if you want to reminisce anime, you could say this is Tokyo Ghoul Kai in exaggerated form. In exaggerated form, like Kai tends to be exaggerated. It's like, man, it's way too fast paced. It's like, not really. It's just more like you're so used to the first anime version, which is 291 episode, I think. So you're used to that, and now it contained to like what, barely 100 or maybe it passed 100. I don't remember. Point is, this is far less episode than the counterpart. That said, Tokyo Ghoul Red is pretty much Kai version of the manga series. Like, I think there's 59 chapters or 58 chapters worth of 2 arcs content. And now we're going to put all that into 2 arcs. And let me just by saying, Tokyo Ghoul chapter isn't like dealing with the series that made Flower of Evil, or the one that's recently going on, the trial. What is it called? Trial by I research later. Basically, we're not dealing with series that use right. Basically, we're not something with blood. Basically, what I'm saying is we're not dealing with series that has to do with visual storytelling or visual telling or a lot of like reaction shot, like oh my goodness, something happened, but you show my face for a good giant page instead of like making it into like 1/9 of the page, like of my reaction shot. Trail of blood, excuse me. It's not like we're dealing with that. Basically, these chapters from Tokyo Ghoul are basically like One Piece. There's so much content squeezed into a chapter that there's a lot to talk about. We're not dealing with Bleach. There's like Bleach, you could just say like they fight and fight stuff happen. They miss, he miss, it ends. There's no dialogue. There's nothing to say. There's nothing else to say than just that. We're not dealing with those type of chapters. We're dealing with heavy content chapters per week. That's Tokyo Ghoul. So in that case, the fact that they're trying to squeeze everything in the 12 episode is ludicrous. And it's just damn shame that is still going on. It's a damn shame. And there's nothing we can do but just like, whatever. Just keep praying for season. Just keep praying for a reboot. Just keep praying for a reboot. But yeah, that's the case. That's really the case.
I mean, if we get like the Hunter x Hunter 2011 equivalent to Tokyo Ghoul, I hope that happens one day. I really do, because damn.
Yep. It will fix everything.
It would.
Majority of this, yeah. But if you enjoyed the episode, that's fine. It's just that a lot of manga fans really wanted to see the actual adaptation 100%. They don't want to see based on, they want to see adapted based on. I don't even know how to say it perfectly, to be honest. What I'm trying to say is, when you hear like based on the true story, they only capture some of the aspect of that true story, but then it's not 100%, is not 100% faithful to that true story. Basically, you're gonna have a different character name. You're gonna have a dramatized scene. The scene gets dramatized heavily. Yeah, it's gonna be altered. It's gonna be Hollywoodized, whatever you want to say. They're just gonna have inserted subplot for the sake of like for the movie. It's like, oh, that person never have a romantic interest, but we're doing that because it makes it interesting in our storytelling, which is fine. That's fine. But when it comes to like Tokyo Ghoul, you don't want to be based on. You want to be like fully
faithful to it.
Faithful, right? And even if you're not faithful to it 100%, because there will be times that scene gets cut off, either reasonable or no reasons at all. But we still would prefer that because at least it still kept the premise or kept the what makes it interesting, what makes it great, what makes it beloved in the first place. What Studio Parrot has done is pretty much downtone a lot of things, make it into a shonen more so than a seinen or more so than a human aspect of the series. This happened in season one as well. They changed the dialogue. It's very noticeable how much they downtone the dialogue, especially with Toka, making her more of a heroine than a human, which it's a shame, but it's it's something that will
You got to
captivate
deal
the
with.
audience. Yeah, it's the mainstream it's the mainstream approach more so the approach of a series. Like, can you imagine? Like does is it like Berserk is it's the same situation. Like
I was actually got to bring
like
that up because like I know Berserk's in a similar situation too, where the anime, which that's another topic too, but
Jeez. Well, the Berserk does have a bigger problem than Tokyo Ghoul, if you ask me, because not only they change a part around and skip a part that makes it amazing in the first place, but they had to suffer with the bad CG.
oh yeah,
And a lot of people, when it comes to CG for anime, a lot of people instantly turn away. So therefore, it cannot be popular by anime standards because of that. It's biased, but then again, you look at the CG, yeah, I don't blame you at all.
no,
I
of
can't
course not.
blame you at all. Oh, that looks bad.
It
But
does.
yeah, the only one that was faithful close enough or were the movies. The first anime series, more or less so too, but same thing for the movies, more or less so. But at least it captures more of his faithfulness than anything else that has gone recently. So
Hmm.
yeah, there you go. And supposedly the movie kind of does the same a little.
The
That's
live
more
action movie,
faithful
yeah,
than
the one
with the
that just
manga.
came out. You
Yeah,
get some,
which
yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I cannot wait to see it myself. I had the chance, but I
I
think I
did
was
too. I had the chance also, but a lot happened at that time, and I'm like, damn it, I wanted to see it. But Blu-ray
yeah.
couldn't.
So when is the Blu-ray? It's gonna come on. I thought it was gonna come on in July. I was like, July, damn, what the hell? Gizon was supposed to come on in March. It makes no sense.
I know.
And
It's
that
like you
one
had
came
the anime
after.
of
What
that
the
coming out.
hell?
You had the live action Blu-ray of that coming out, and then it's like April hits Tokyo Ghoul live action movie. I'm like, so the day after the anime comes out. Well, there's a plus side.
So there's a plus side to that. But so yeah, like anime is pretty much their own world, and that's
It
something
is.
we have to accept. We have to
Mhm.
accept that. If we like it, that's cool. If we don't like it, that's cool as well. We just wish there was a series that's pretty much 100% faithful. And of course, you're not gonna have every scene, but when we say 100% faithful, we pretty much wanted the premise and everything to be out there. We'll be fine. We will live to see like, oh no, they skipped that one tiny scene. We will live. Don't worry. We're not gonna kill ourselves. If we're that stickler to detail, then well, that's our fault. That's our fault. Because I know, like, because like it's funny because like take me for instance. I actually read the latest volume, well, English release volume for Asian Megan's Bride. Like before I got to see the episode, I read the content, and then I started to read. Then I watched the episode, and I instantly noticed they changed the scene around. However, it still kept the focus. It still kept the target. And even though it's not the exact same thing, because in the manga version they actually have dialogues. In the anime version, there's no dialogues. They leave it to narration of like this helpless woman, girl,
Oh
is walking
yeah,
around with a
yeah. I noticed
curse.
that too.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, huh, they have voice. So yeah, you could argue that's not 100% faithful to the manga then. While that's true, it doesn't harm a lot. It doesn't even harm at all. It is beneficial to the anime adaptation because at least not only it kept the focus properly with the whole okay, she goes there, they talk, they found the house that's going on sale. the fairy. Oh, not the fairy. The other she shows up. You get the idea that this protagonist is hiding something. They kiss. They say goodbye. They're like friendly, and that's the end of it. It's like normal life goes on. Yet, even though that one person is in a dying state, so that's fine. That's perfectly fine. That's what the manga did. It's just the manga they have with voices, and they just try to, and they have a different way to show that. But the point is, the premise behind it is still the same. So not much has been lost. With Tokyo Ghoul, a lot of things has been lost. It's been altered, has been changed. Nobody acts human. Everybody acts more of a series that's on the manga, that's based on the manga for young boys. That's it.
Damn.
No, it is weird with the new. It is weird with the new. It is weird with the new art style, because maybe because I have watched too many animes, but it keep coming across as an idol decided to be dark and edgy.
Right.
It's the art style. It's definitely the art style, because I look back to season 1, and even though it is different from the manga, I didn't mind it.
No, I don't mind either.
I didn't mind the art style from season 1, especially when season 1 has some really good still shots, like really good ones, like very detailed, nice shades, nice. I don't know. It was good. It was like rarity of Studio Parrot good. But with this one, it looks like I'm seeing, like, I don't know, like, oh, look at that guy from Idolish 7. He decided to become a hero. It's like that. It's like, I don't want to think that way. I want to think, I don't know, a human character. Like, it just feels very idolish. I don't know. Like idol series. It's weird. Maybe because of Sasaki. I don't know. Like, even it doesn't help it doesn't help that his voice tends to be in a lot of idol series. Like, you always like that type of character is like playful and sometimes more thoughtful than the rest. Kind of has that characteristic, so it doesn't help with that.
Oh my god! See, okay, that's the other thing I was going to bring up. When he makes that face, because I remember specifically in the manga, like, he makes the face of, like, I'm gonna show those kids, and, like, you see, like, the serious look on his face when he's saying it. You're just like, okay, it's goofy, but you're like, yeah, there's a bit of comic in you, but we don't see that face in the episode, and there's a lot of things that was disappointing, but that was one of them too.
Yeah, so you caught on with that. Yeah, that was like, wait a minute. I noticed this scene feels very, very different for some reason. And it's funny because that very, very different happens to be with the expressions more so than the content itself. Because the content itself is practically the same. It's just something about it feels off. And that was it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, guys. We can talk about the anime all day, but we got a lot more stuff to cover besides that. So, like I said, good points about the anime. OST, animation, and the opening. I mean, the ending song is okay. I'll say that. Ending's not exactly perfect, but it's not, like, terrible, if you want my honest opinion, but that's just how I feel. But as to if we're going to be talking about the anime with every podcast, I don't know. We might, considering how things go further down the line, so we'll see. But if I had to play, like, an over-under game as to where the anime for Tokyo Ghoul would end, here's the thing, it wouldn't surprise me if they would do it, but I think end of episode 12, you will either see the Black Reaper show up or end it right when Kaneki's about to face Arima.
I think it will end at the Black Reaper scene.
You think
Like, it will end with him saying, I think it will end right there. I think it will end when he just say, "Do kill them, please," and that's it. Like, right there, which is end right there. Do kill them, please.
Yeah, and as far as, like, parallels and symbolisms go, I mean, that does kind of fit with season 1 in a lot of ways. So, yeah, I could see that. But it does kind of go back to my point, like, would that moment feel earned, though, when it does come?
I think the better question is, should we even get another season of Ray?
I know.
I think that's the real question here, my friend.
I know. Should we even, if we get, like, another season, then, man, I'm not prepared. Especially after this. After this episode, I'm like, all bets are off.
Like it should, like this series should be treated as an advertisement. I mean, yeah, every anime could be seen as that, but I would like to believe that this one is the same as well. Just keep it as an advertisement. Just force the guys to say, "Gotta read the manga. Gotta read the manga. Gotta read the manga to find out."
I
Yeah.
would love it if like Studio Marriott like actually have like the quote have that quote at like the end of episode 12. It's like, and to know more, read the manga. I'd be like, thank you. At least you did that right.
He's like, thank you for telling us to force us to read us the manga. You know what? That's a great idea. You already tarnished the series enough. I might as well start reading the manga.
Yes. And put another little quote at the bottom. It's restart from the beginning because a lot of changes happened.
Too much changes. Too much changes.
Too much.
It'd be funny. It'd be funny. Shirazu doesn't die in this version.
I know.
What? He doesn't die here. I think a lot of people. I think everybody would lose their shit.
But that's supposed to be so pivotal. We don't care. He's irrelevant. No, he's.
But. Or imagine it'd be funny and just do a reverse. They kill Uri. Why?
I know. It's like, what's the point? He has an entire arc in the manga.
It'd be the Fuka of the anime. I remember everybody saw that scene. I was like, wait, what? Because one of the scene that character is supposed to die, she didn't. And I could imagine if Tokyo Ghoul could do the same thing. Like, wait a minute, wait just a hell of a minute. He didn't die.
So yeah, where was that?
Yeah, it's like Shirazu, don't you leave me. We get a medic. Wait, just please stay by. And then like the next scene, he lives. But no thanks to you, Sasuke. We're like, wait, he lives. Oh, he's in a deep coma. And no thanks to you.
I love that term. He's in a coma.
He has gone to the coma. Even though he got stabbed right through the heart. He's stuck in a coma. Yeah, coma. That's right. Get stabbed in the heart really badly, die out. Everybody tears like they have just lost somebody 100%, death and everything. He's in a coma. Oh my God. If they really do that, I think I would laugh and then cry and laugh again. Just how inconfident the series really has become, anime wise. I mean,
I know.
He has fallen into a coma. Are you happy now, Sasuke? He's in a coma. I wanted to even address his sister in the anime.
I know. See, that's the thing, guys. Like, there's a lot of stuff in the manga, but given what the first episodes have done, I don't have confidence. Not one bit. Coma. Ridiculous.
Coma. I still remember in the first season how they skipped so much. It was like, oh no, Jason's here. That means this is the part where Kaneki has been forced to go to the Ogiri. That's where we see Tadara, and his very conniving way to force his people, quote unquote, to follow him, follow the rules, follow the leader, yada yada yada. A lot of crazy hijinks ensue. Craziness happens. Next episode. Wait, who's this? Almost already fighting? What the hell's going on? Did I miss this? Did I skip an episode? I really actually checked if I skipped an episode, and I didn't. Turns out they skipped straight away that CCG found the hideout of Ogiri. Somehow, some way, they found their hideout. They were right in the action. Kaneki is already getting tortured. There is no other scenes behind that. There's nothing else. He's getting tortured. Two random guys get killed instead of two very, very, very noticeable innocent people getting killed off. So yeah, what happened? What the hell just happened? That's exactly what's going to happen soon again. For all we know, they probably be like, all right, tomorrow we're going to go to Tsukiyama family estate, and we're going to kill every single one of them. And if anybody defends them, We're gonna kill them as well. Next episode. Ah, I'm killing Shu, but I should not. I have Kaneki inside of me. Like, wait, what just happened? I expect something like that. I expect something like a huge jump without even notice, because that's what happened in season 1. So if it happens here, no surprise. No surprise.
No surprise at all. Shit. I think we've talked about the anime long enough. Specifically the episode 2.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we will come back whenever something what the hell happened moment comes in.
Which
I think we'll go back when we
might happen in episode 2 or 3, depending on whenever the next podcast happens. So yeah. That is our thoughts on the anime side of things. Oh, were you gonna say something?
The last thing, because I did really interrupt before, but let me finally finish saying this. Look at this way. We only the only thing that would cause fans to lose their shit next to Arima used to have a piece of head or a piece of face, whatever they said, the shape. Maybe their waifus will not look as pretty as they hope to be. We only got to see Toka and Akira. Well, we know Eto might be like, what is going on? What happened to her face? It's such a drastic change since Flower of Evil anime. If you ever seen the anime, what the hell happened there? The character design in that one was hideous. But for the manga, good. So in case in point, Tokyo Ghoul will probably not look as good as you hope to be.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We'll see. What happened to Eto? She used to be super pretty hot.
Say, well, we will get back to you on that at a later date. Is the answer that'll probably be given.
Oh boy.
So that was on the dark side of things for Tokyo Ghoul. Now let us jump on over to the light side, the purity, the holy heavens, which is the manga.
Hallelujah.
Yes. And like I said, we have 6 chapters to cover. Which, I know, ironically, same thing as the episode.
That's true. Wow.
I know, and I didn't even think about that until like just this moment. Like, oh yeah, we have 6 chapters to cover also. Do we go further in depth, or do we try to cliff notes it?
I think we should just cliff note until we get to the last part. The last chapter, that is, I mean.
Yeah, we can try to break everything down, but it would take forever. Truth be told. So
let's get started.
Let's start with 162, which was Pomegranate Hand. Kanegi's still unconscious, say at the very least. And I mean, you've had a lot of stuff happen. Like, you've had Kimi talking about, like, the schematics about what was going on. You get some reactions from Toka and Hide. And, like, even, it's crazy because, like, the whole chapter, as far as 162 goes, was mainly centered around, like, everyone's reactions as to, like, how Kaneki's doing, how long is it going to be until he stays there, Kimi even the answers, and ultimately what's been going on with all the wards, with the first ward, the third ward, the Kagane creature that was Kaneki for a certain period of time. All that stuff was going on. And the big reason, again, for Kimi's side of things as to why she's doing this is because Kaneki saved her, which is true, going back to the beginning of the original series. Thus, we get the emergencies from a couple of members, thus also getting to Hide and Toka, just them alone in the room with Kaneki, and you have the two of them, like, feeling a little unease, that's for certain. Like, you've had that going on, and just Hide kind of, like, recollecting on things that Kaneki had always done, and telling Toka not to worry, just giving her the heads up to, like, just watch over her. And not only just that, but you get everyone there too. Like, you have Hinami at Banjo, a couple of other people that I'm not exactly remembering at the top of my head. Nishiki's there too. And they're always, like, gathering. They're gathering with Kaneki and just by his side. And then you have, like, this nice little moment with Mutsuki and Uri. Oh, what else happened?
I'm assuming you don't have the chapter in front of you.
I do. I do. I'm just kind of
Okay.
like skimming through. I'm kind of like skimming through
Udi
it.
Udi continues. Well, Udi continues to be best man of the series. What else? Psycho continues to be the sweet little angel for meeting my man. Well, yeah, it's true. What else? The CCG having a moment of like, you know what? Maybe it'd be a cool idea to actually say, "Hey, Ghoul, we're together, aren't we? We're cool. We're bestest friend, best bro team." And they're like, "Well, it's not gonna be that simple." I guess not. And
And then you
Hiyoko
had
has a
a couple
moment
of
of
like the
like,
doctors coming in with what's it called the
yeah, here,
humans that are like having symptoms. They're like, it's another one. Wait, what? It's like
yeah,
how many of this is happening? It's like quite a lot. It's like ROS. Shit. And
everybody.
more of the monsters are coming out. Even though Kanegi's been separated, but I guess Monster Wars isn't over yet.
Nope.
Nope. Not in the slightest. Unless everyone's there, they're kind of like sit again, like I said, sitting by his side. Toka's there, also closing his eye or closing her eye, and then opening back up, getting the final page. Kaneki reawakening from the coma. Reawakening from the
Are you,
coma.
are you trying to be funny by saying that? He's in a coma. I mean, what they did say his brain was active. Like he wasn't really dead, so he is technically a coma.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like they cop out and say like, "Oh my god, Kaneki did die. He's in a coma." Like, never mind. He's not dead, everyone. He's only in a
He's still alive.
coma.
He's still alive. Yeah. So Kaneki's there. Like, he's looking. He's like Toka, everyone, and tears. Not the best representation of how I try to describe everything, but that was ultimately 162 in a nutshell. Best possible nutshell I can give it. So, and it also kind of leads us into 163 with Kangi like looking around and just seeing the destruction that happened with some of the like the citizens that are like cleaning up the place, and like you're seeing him just thinking of everything, especially everyone's reaction as to him waking up. And you had this nice little shipping moment. Yeah, I know that was going on for a while, a good week. It's like, what? It's like, but I'm like, relax. He's already married. He's about to have a child. Let's not get to that point.
Wait, you actually thought that?
No,
It's funny
no,
because
I
I
didn't
jumped
think that, but
around
I
for
know
a
that.
second.
No, I didn't think that, but I joked around about it. I'm like, I could see some shipping teasers going on there, but he's married. He's gonna have a kid.
Yeah. I see. Well, you know, like I saw like looks like I'm seeing a family, and she's been adopted. Like that's how I see it. Like they're gonna have a child, like their own actual child. But the way I see it is like, hey, look, they already have a child. What are you talking about? It's just adopted daughter. Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
But it is funny to think the way you just said. I was because I was gonna joke about it. I was like, oh look, like oh no, she came to him first. I should imagine that Toko would be like, oh you little, so something like that. Like you just see like something that reminisced from part one where she was like, oh by the way, if you dare to speak of this or dare to be late, I'm gonna kick your ass, something like that. The only time that the anime actually kept that in terms of the comedy routine, which is weird because the anime tends to skip a lot of comedy, make it too much of an edgy and dark lord thing, which is not the case at all. But whatever. Anyway, back to the manga.
Yeah, so going from there, we get again everyone's thoughts to him waking up. You have him also just saying Hinami, Tsukiyama, Nishio, Amon, Akira, Kanki. Like you even have like Nishiki like holding him by the cheeks getting on to him about the shit that's happened and how immortal he is, and it's like even the point where you have Toga just like giving him a hug. It's nice to have you back. It's the best way I can put it. It's nice to have you back, and I'm glad because deep shit's happened. Deep shit has happened, and then that also kind of helps us transition over to the report that Kimi gives, and as far as how he's feeling on his side of things, especially with his hand. Thus, we also get to when Nishiki pops up talking about like the members of Go, and they've kind of joined forces with the CCG, and how it was temporary. And even Amon kind of bringing up the point that, yeah, in order to save you, he brought together the ghouls of Goat and the CCG, referring to Hide. And Kaneki, at that point, is like, Hide, oh, damn. He's alive. But, like, he hasn't finished the sentence, but you can tell he has that point of, he's here. Holy shit. It's the look of shock and like, wow, he's here. And even Amon just kind of like, oh, were you gonna say something?
It's like he couldn't. It's like that thought process doesn't register correctly for him because it seems like a dream in a way. It's like, oh my god, he's alive. He's really alive. But he tried not to flabbergasted in emotion, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
because like the first reaction is like, wait, what? He did? Is he really alive? He has that reaction like, holy shit, he's really alive. Like not in a bad way, but more like, oh my god. I thought he died. I remember thinking he died. I had a moment of I was like talking to him through my vision, through my mind, my psychological, everything about him. And the fact he's alive, I want to see them. I want to see him after so many years. But since he's a more developed character now, he decided that it's best for him to see the city to know how much damage he has caused, so he could face his reality. So he could face reality. He could face his sins, as they would say, which makes sense.
Yeah, but after everything that's happened, and he like that's what especially like when he just tells Udi like, hey, I need to see what exactly happened, what it is that I caused, and you get that. Like you have him walking around with Udi and Psycho, which I don't know if it happens this chapter. I think it does, but it's the chapter. I know specifically that Psycho gets that horn that just kind of pops out.
Next chapter.
Okay, next chapter. Mm-hmm. Okay, just because I was jumping ahead then.
Yeah, you were. I mean, like the whole thing has passed already, so it's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong to be like, oh no, I spoiled.
No, of course not. Just trying to keep it consistent.
Unless the anime watcher onlys are here right now listening to this, then whoops.
I know it's like, what are you like? I'm like, you guys are kind of no. I'm not gonna be mean, but you guys are gonna be very confused. Put it lightly. Put it lightly. If you're still here, that is. Which even then we spoiled a lot, so there goes surprises. There goes surprises. Going back to the manga, they come across a human and they're like, "Oh, wait, it's a ghoul." What? And Sparta knows this because I didn't read the chapter initially. I got the chance to read it the next day when it came out, but I remember specifically you pointed out to me that there's this one moment in the chapter where you're going to be like, oh, and you were like, I want to see if you catch on to it. And I didn't realize it was this. I thought the moment was, oh, you have Ford to like talking on the news. I'm like, oh, is that it? Because it's crazy, but shit. But then when I went back a second time outside of my live reaction, I looked at this page. I'm like, oh, damn. So that's what you meant.
Yeah, it was funny because I saw your live reaction and I was like, I immediately went to the Tumblr and just tell you, oh, you failed the test. You didn't notice the first time. So it's cool though. That happened to me too. And then I point out what page from the first series, and then like point out the remnants, and then you're like, oh, wow. So yeah, one of the human turned to ghoul is actually one of the interviewers back in part one. I think it was chapter 20 or 21. I forgot now.
It was one
But
of
it
the
was
two,
the
yeah.
time when it was the time when Toka and Kaneki snuck in the CCG headquarters and try to get some info, but then they being interviewed by the woman who pretty much said that ghouls are not human because they're just monsters and it's okay to kill them. That's her logic. So you can say this scene is practically a karma is a bitch a moment for her.
Mhm.
It's yeah. But it's amazing that Ishida remembers her. It's amazing he remembers anybody. Actually, he remembers every single character.
I
Let's not forget Hajime.
know, and it's kind of scary sometimes when you think about it because it's like okay, it's just some person. They're not gonna matter, and then you cut to now. You're like, whoa, what?
Yeah, it's like Ishida is really redefining the term, the phrase. Every character is not safe. Every character is no longer safe. It's like shit. No kidding. Even a character that is only appear in the very background will be no safe. Is no safe from this.
Like
Shit.
it's like it happened with Ko also because I remember that happened. Like, oh, damn,
I
and
remember that character.
and then you also and then Forta was the other one too, where you're like, oh no, what?
Yeah. That first time was the first time that I figured out like this series really remembers every character, even if it's only one time. Like the whole
I know.
college part, I was like, this guy thought it's like she thought that I was Kaneki. It was just some other guy. I kind of looked like him, but not really. But at least it was a mistake. Then we get to the chapter where we first see him. Like, wait a minute, that's that guy. The hell?
Yeah, like,
And
oh wait, you mean
then
he's relevant?
I was like, wait, what? So, and I guess it's my fault for underestimating Ishida to bring out every character for every single tiny moment. Again, for all I know, anybody who was involved in chapter 167, the one that get blasted away but survive, for all I know, that character might come back to be relevant in part three. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep focusing on every single character from now on.
But I know I'm gonna do the same thing now. Like, and here's the thing: when Tokyo Ghoul redoes, and when we do get part three,
And then we just see a lot of
that
characters
box is
that
probably gonna
used.
be the longest one we do because we're probably gonna break down everything, talk about potentials and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I can guarantee that much for that. Let's say this: the chapter itself comes to an end with Forta coming onto the news and going like, "Is it the devil playing games with us?" And Kaneki's like, "Oh shit, what the hell?"
Mm-hmm.
Although that kind of gets me wondering. So hold on, that means during the entire run with him as the Kagane, was that him who was doing all the interviews, or no, or was that somebody else?
Wait, you talk about Furuta?
Because yeah, because if you remember, like, remember that one silent chapter where you had that one reporter?
Yeah.
Was that the same person, or was that different?
Hmm. I shouldn't let me check on that. Give me a second.
Yeah, because I'm kind of wondering, like, wait, because if that's the case, then damn, Ishida, what are you? There's nothing you can't do, can you?
Well, shit. So I guess we get to the next chapter then.
Yep. So this brings us over to 164, which, if I remember correctly, Ford going along with interviews, asking about like their names, which they don't really give a shit. They're just like, no, forget you. We're
Unless you
gonna.
read the
Oh, go on.
I'm sorry. Unless you read the Omaki version, then you'll get the interview you deserve. Because apparently in the Maki version, they actually interview and they actually fight like rebellions, which is
Oh my
awesome. That part threw me off, but I laughed so much. He's like, we're gonna fight, yeah. I was like, oh, so that's the real canon story. All right, cool. Now I'm happy.
It's like, interesting. Interesting. Indeed. That's exactly what happened.
But yeah, we don't get the interview in here, unfortunately, because these monsters are monsters. They don't care.
So yeah, all they care about is flesh. They're like, look, we see humans, we eat them, they die. That's our role in the story. Hashtag we're the distraction squad. That's what it is. And Marty looks at this whole thing too, going like, wait, how the fuck is he broadcasting? What is going on? He's the one that kind of reports in, just saying the explosion and, getting a bad feeling about the whole thing. And thus getting the Kaneki, getting his side of things, where we see it's not the first time, but we see another human turning into a ghoul with the eye transforming, and it's, wow, it is a lot. Say that. just those two little panels, I'm like, wow, I feel for you, but that's how life's gonna go. That's how life's gonna go. Forget your cheeseburgers, forget your French fries, forget your pizza. No, human flesh is what you have to go for, and that is how life is gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
Say goodbye to apple juice too, while you're at it.
Apple juice.
Unless going from there, we also come back to Ford to getting his interview and telling, not giving up with the faces that he makes, and which is where Kaneki says Ford isn't really there; it's just a recording. And thus now we get to the cycle thing, which this was hard to see. Let me say that this was the hardest part to see. Damn.
That part messed up my mind for a moment.
It did. I remember seeing that and I was just like, wait, are you? Oh no. I'm like, no. I'm like, not Psycho. Anyone but the cute little angel.
I know. It's like Ishida has a grudge against angels, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
First Hinami, then her. What's going on?
I know.
Why must you hate? Why must you hate so damn much?
It's like, what did they ever do to you?
It didn't help me. It didn't heal my legs when I begged for the angels to fix them.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Which we have Kaneki just thinking about the whole thing, thinking about everyone, how they were waiting. And I know there was already that moment that happened between him and Rize, like in his inner thoughts, but here we actually see it in the present world where he's like, no, I'm tired of the shit that I've been doing. I'm tired of not being able to do anything. And holy shit. That was gruesome, yes, but amazingly devastating. That's the right word, type of words I want to use, because holy shit, Kaneki, not only did he do that, but he also regained his arms too. It's another thing, because his arms were a little weird.
A little?
Fine, very weird. They were
it was like incomplete cartoon hands that uses 4 fingers design more so than a 5-finger approach. You know how like some cartoon does the 4-finger for whatever reason, I guess to try to avoid a middle finger, but I digress. So Kaneki hands looks like a disfigure cartoon hands. It's like, oh man.
It's like, look at those hands. Oh yeah, well I got my hands back. What now?
Yeah.
He's like, well, good job. That's all I gotta say. Good job. And going from there, which interestingly enough, we get the chapter title towards the end, which, I don't know, was nice. It's titled The White One, and I'm like, you know.
Well, though it was clear that it's meant for Kaneki.
Well, yeah. Well, initially I was like, well, and then I'm like, oh, I get it. It took like a couple thoughts where I'm like, okay, so it was Kaneki.
I mean, it doesn't help that he still has white hair, so it's like more of a metaphor than ever.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking.
hmm To which, going from there, after the whole thing that Kaneki did, we cut back to the hospital where Psycho's in bed and Kimi's letting them know what's going on and how the RC count's over 1,000. And you heard that right, not 9,000, just 1,000. So keep that in mind. Thus, we get something from Kimi as far as an explanation goes. She basically brings up the point of you may yet possess an innate resistance to this poison Kaneki. So basically, kind of suggesting that he's immune, or he might not be immune. It's kind of like the swinging of a pendulum, like which way will it go? It's kind of one of those things. Thus, we have Kaneki walking out, runs into Toka, asking her where Hide is, and we have finally the two best friends reuniting. And here's the thing, and this is what we're going to be the one big thing that we're going to probably dive into. They see each other, and it's so casual. Like, they're just like, hey, what's up? Like, it's like been the next day, even though it's been like such a long time. Like, it's nice to see what Ishida is able to do, because it's just like with the whole Kimi thing. With Kimi and Nishio, like, time has passed by, but things have changed, yeah. But as far as the relationship goes, that hasn't changed. That's still the same, and that is something again that I really, really like, especially coming off from this chapter, because Kaneki mentions about the signed copy from Eto's book, and then getting to the heart of it too, where Kaneki asks Hide about the look that he has. Like, what was it that Kaneki did that day? First, it was kind of played off as a joke. It's like, well, it's like everyone wants to take a look. It's like it was kind of like one of those meta lines that you hear, but it was like kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit, kind of like throwing a little nudge towards readers. Like, yeah, I know you guys have been waiting for this, so I'm gonna have that being said through Hide. But Kaneki, seriously goes up and just says, I want to see. Just let me see what it was I did.
That would be $15.
$15.
You should have said that just to be funny. No, but seriously, no, but seriously, yeah. Go on, though. Go on.
We see what it was Kaneki did to Hide. Wow. Let me just say that. Wow. And here's the thing. When I did my live reaction to this chapter specifically, I actually caught on to the design of it, because I remember looking at Hide's face. The fact that we finally got the review, I'm like, what? Like, something about his lower jaw, something about it just stuck out to me. And then I thought of Kaneki's mask, and I compared the two side by side. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, it's like I've been saying, Ishida knows his shit. That mask itself, in a lot of ways, was kind of foreshadowing this. Very subtly, like small things like that. It's like, okay, cool. Kaneki has it to kind of protect his identity in a way. Though, it's like I said, it's also kind of used as a subtle tool for Hide. And, damn, you got anything you want to say, Sparta? About the whole reveal?
I think you said it best. Like, I didn't even think about the whole mask thing, and it does really make sense. And I was like, wow, that's that detail that I really appreciate. Much like the same thing with what's that chapter? 145, I want to say correctly, where the dragon looks very identical to the vision that Kaneki once have about what a ghoul looks like. Oh, it looks like this. Looks like dragon, which ends up being dragon. So it very resemble a lot. I think that is the idea, and that's like the hidden gem, Easter egg, as you want to call it, at a certain part way. But yeah, with the whole hidden scene and Kaneki, I thought it was appropriately done, really, really, really well, especially with the whole casual talk. And then it gets serious when Kaneki really wants to see his face, not for the sake of like, oh, I want to see your face, like because I'm very interested. When it comes to people with masks, it's always interesting to see their face. But in the Kaneki case, it's more of a serious and personal manner, since this is something he needs to see for himself, because this is arguably one of the biggest sin next to, just killing people. But the fact that he does this much damage to his own best friend, the person that he pretty much rely on so heavily after dealing with the horrible family dilemma that he had back then, he is like his savior. I'm not, of course, I'm not talking about pairing wise, but the fact is, was the one that really brought him out from the darkness. So the fact that he does this amount of damage to his own best friend is, it is a sad thing to hear. It's a sad thing to even know that you had damaged him so much. And yet Hida acts so casual, like he has no grudge. He doesn't hate him for making him look this hideous. He doesn't hate him for damaging him this bad, taking away his vocal cord. He can't really speak without the machine thing. So thankfully he has the machine to do the talking. But the fact that he cannot really live like normal as chapter 1 prior, it's something you will feel that heavily, very, very guilty about, because like, shit, man, I just did that much damage. I mean, like, of course he kind of remembers that he did something bad to him, but he doesn't know how much of a damage he done. And all this time Hide was basically hiding it for more of his sake. It's not really it's not really for Hide, like, oh, I look scary, I look monster, look, I look ugly, I look bad, don't look at me. Like, it's like, that's not his real agenda wearing a mask. It's more for Kaneki, because he knows Kaneki will feel so guilty. He will feel so awful that he has done this much damage. So he did it for his sake, more so his own sake. Like, just, it didn't matter so much about like the look he has. It's more for him. That's why he protected it. That's why he protected his look from Kaneki. It was just for Kaneki. Whenever he comes back, because he knows he's not dead. He knows he will return one day, and now he finally returned. It's like, okay, you can see the face. It's not like, because when he showed his face to Toka, it was just a casual, normal thing. Like, all right, you can see the face. Kaneki is not here, so it's not a real big deal. But when Kaneki is there, it's like, oh, wow, he want to see it. Is he really prepared for it? So, but let me joke around for it. Oh, everybody wants to try to see my face. He's like, no, I really want to see your face, please. It's like, all right. And then he shows the face, and Kaneki didn't react heavily. He reacted normal, as human as possible. Basically, like, thank you for showing me that. And yeah, I'm actually still hurt about it, but I accept it. So everything about the scene was really realistic, genuine, and very heartwarming in some way. I just like this scene because not only Hide wasn't treated as the Sasuke, like, "Oh, do we really care this much, or do we really buy into their friendship?" You always do buy their friendship with the little instant bits from part 1, and then even in part 2, and even in a flashback. A flashback does help to carry on the further of their relationship to be one of the defining, one of the best of the relationship. That's like, even if you don't see them together as, hanging out a lot, you can already sense a lot from their flashback, from the backstory, from the bits and pieces of how much they devote their life to save them to save them. So that really helps. And when we get to that moment, it's like, yeah, I bought everything about it, and it was awesome. It was great to see them again. Very happy for them. Now I'm just hope they just try to survive after this arc. That's all I can ask for.
Definitely. And it also kind of got me curious. I'm like, do we still, like, how much has your opinion changed on wanting a flashback as to how he survived? Because I know
I still want to see the.
I know that was still a big thing that was going around, like, prior to us getting this moment right over here.
I still want to see the flashback because it does help to find out how he survived, or how he managed to survive, and who helped them. I mean, you could just easily say, "Oh, the hospital just found him, and they just luckily recovered him." But I feel like it has to be more than that, because the fact that he not only survived, but
he survived like this
much
of a damage that was done to him.
Yeah, right. He not only survived this much of damage, but he he separated himself from CCG. It's not like he was never a CCG member. He was. That's the thing. He was a part of CCG member. So why is it that he wasn't classified as like, oh, this guy, he still he actually survived. He was fighting for his life, but he managed to win, overcome the downside, but he left CCG and we never heard of him again. So what's the story behind that? Was it like that I just said? Or could it be like, we thought he died, but then he turned himself in and he's alive? I don't know the story about that. I didn't see no hospital record behind that. What gives? This has to be a flashback.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. And I mean, it's gonna be hard. I'll say that. Like, as far as when we get it, it might happen not like necessarily right now, given what's currently happening in the chapters, which we're gonna get to, but before Re ends, I can say that for certain. That's probably when we're gonna see it. That much is
maybe
true.
before Re ends, we either get a hint or like, what's going on? Or this time he's this and that, and then maybe we get a flashback in part 3. I mean, like if let's take this to fans theories into a serious approach. What if he's like really the bad guy? Oh, I'm the villain, right? So if they end the series with end Re with him showing it off like I am the real villain, and then you could just leave it like that, and then we're really going to start questioning what happened back in part 1. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying as a theory, I'm just saying as a hypothetical question. I'm not saying that's going to happen. If it happens, well, sure, better have a amazing explanation behind that. But yeah.
In a lot of ways too, not only do I agree with that, but the first time I read the chapter, I kind of felt like you could have ended Re with this final page in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I'm kind of like thinking, well, there was a lot you would have to cut. Like, I don't know if I would say it would end Re completely, but there would be stuff where you'd be like, you have some plot, you have some threads that are still kind of left open. But the original series did that too. And I don't know, I just feel like if Re had ended right over here, with like Kaneki just again stating that, like, I'm sick and tired of not being able to do anything. Just further, I forget the word, but damn,
what's the word you're looking for?
Shit. I'm blanking on that word right now.
What is it that you're trying to describe right now?
Kaneki further cementing. There we go. That's what it was called. Just kind of further cementing his point of
there you go. Yeah, that's
finally being able to do something and not continue on what it was that he's been trying to do since the beginning of Tokyo Ghoul. So it could have worked, but I'm not saying that the stuff we got after this was anything bad, because it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Could have ended Re with this note too, but how would you have felt about that? Like, if Re had ended with this as like its final page.
Just him sitting down and saying like, I'm not gonna let everything go by anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I actually would like that. It reminds me of Halo 2. Sir, reporting to come in. Reporting for what? Finishing this fight. So
yeah,
kind of reminds me. In fact, that was my punchline with the review of 164. I was actually copying or reflecting Halo 2 to 3. And I almost wanted to use the theme song like dun, 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 for the Tokyo Ghoul chapter, just to say like that's how I felt when I read that last part. I'm no longer gonna do this by myself. I'm tired of not doing anything. I'm gonna do it with friends. We're finishing this fight. Dun, dun, dun. So that's the feeling I had with that chapter. I almost wanted to play the theme song for the review, like dun, dun, dun. Yeah, we're gonna finish this fight, even though there's gonna be a part 3. But still, yeah, dun, dun, dun.
I wonder how the fandom would have reacted if it's like, what?
And if I recall correctly, that chapter ends up being the last chapter of the volume. So there you go. Even more power to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so more power to it.
Damn, I didn't realize that. Wow, that is cool. That's actually
Yeah, I tell you.
if that was the last, if that was like again the last chapter of Reach, people would have been like, "Oh, what?" It's like, wait, how long do we have to wait? It's like you won't have another Tokyo Ghoul series for 2 years, but the ending. I can imagine that's probably what it would have been like.
Yeah,
Because
right.
that's what happened with Halo 2. I remember that specifically pretty well.
3 years for the next one. 3 years.
hmm Which is funny because I thought when we got 165, I was like, oh, okay, so we're gonna get the flashback. No, we cut straight to later on in the day, or if not the next day, where we have Ui, we have Hiriko. Oh wait, no, Hiriko's not there. Takeomi.
Takeomi.
There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
this dude we haven't seen in such a long time. Where's his wife? That's the other thing.
Quite.
Where is his wife? Where is Yoriko and Toka's reunion?
I think that would be whole for another time.
I know. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, okay, Shida, you give us one, which rightfully so. Not complaining about that one, but I think Toka deserves that. Getting a reunion with her best friend. Well, okay, fine. Forget what I say then. But yeah, you have Ui, Hiriko, and I'm blanking on this guy's name right now. The other guy with the white hair.
Ito?
Yeah.
Yes, the casual guy, the casual friendly guy that's always in the wrong predicament.
I know,
But
which is kind of sad.
yeah. He's like, hey, Hiroko, don't leave me. I'm about to go to a dangerous mission. And then you go to the dangerous mission. I see my rib cage. So that's how it looks like. Shit.
Yeah, like you just see them like, kind of conversing about the whole matter. Then we cut to Psycho. Thanks, Ashida.
Thanks.
Thank you for cutting us to Psycho. And I remember we talked about it briefly, like outside of this podcast, but her horn really kind of reminded me of the thing that was going on with Shirazu's sister.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing. And that doesn't help at all. I
No,
was
it
like, oh my
doesn't.
God. It's like, why do I remember that scene now? I don't like this. Oh God, I don't like this at all.
What's the update on the sister? Because we haven't gotten anything from that in a
It's
long
a
time.
it's a big question mark at this rate. That's a
I just
huge
realized
question mark.
wait a second, what happened with Shirazu's sister? Because
I feel like we would know more. Hmm?
I'm like, yeah, that's the one that's like really up in the air right now. It's just that.
I feel like we would know more aftermath of this arc because the damages and expenses is gonna be off the roof. So I could imagine a lot of things might cut off, which might suck massively, but we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Really cool.
Like I can imagine we can't do the funds anymore. So if the sister's gonna go crazy, we have no choice but to put her in. Same thing for Shinoharu. We're gonna have to unplug the tube. Suzuya. Sorry.
That would suck.
We'll see what. I know. Well, that's the damage of what happens when there's a massive crisis outside of freaking Tokyo right now. So what do you expect?
Seriously. Yeah. You get reactions from everyone. You get Mutsuki, Aura. I know how the name's spelled, but I'm gonna butcher it. Hizio? I think is how you say it.
Shao,
Yeah.
something like that. That's how you pronounce. It's hard to pronounce it, but it's something like that. But yeah, yeah. I was like, for a lot of bravery she puts up, or a lot of boldness that she puts up. This was the only rare time they see her actually crying more so than everyone else.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
true.
but yeah, yeah, it's like, oh, that's somewhat surprising. Like on one hand, it's not surprising because they do have a tight relationship. On the other hand, it's surprising because I guess you never thought you would say. I guess it's one of those cases like people say strong men don't cry, but in reality, they do cry too. Yeah, I'm not saying she's not a man, but she's a strong woman. But strong women also cry. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Going from that reaction, we cut to the other room where we have Nishiki, Banjo, Toka, Uri, Sasuke, Kaneki, same person.
I know. Red's back with episode 1 to go back all the way to the beginning with Sasuke, but come on.
Yeah, thank you, anime. Going over like again, like the reports about like what's going on with like the creatures, the monsters, consters, whatever you want to call these things. Getting reports from Kimi. Like we know that there's a large cave underneath the oviduct. Just the kind of horrible thing would love to hide out in. And when we hear the "Let Me Go," it's coming from Kaneki getting his points to like saying, my body is resistant to the poison, right? And Kimi points out, yeah, that's true. But the dangers that lie ahead could be drastic. Very much so. Very much so be drastic. Thus, we have the V organization members. Prelude fight. let me say that right now. This is a prelude fight. Because they're like walking in. They're doing some crazy shit. And Marty is like, what the fuck's going on? Get battle stations ready. And ambush. Nishi points that out. Tsukiyama's like, well, wait, at this time? And Kimi's like, so they've noticed something. And we see some of the clan members too. Say at the very least. So this is still too fast. Plus, you have he kind of like formulating something like, okay, so if they're coming out here and they're not coming after us, and that means, that they should try to go after the source right away. And the two people that, go ahead with that, Kaneki and Ayato, which is, and also just kind of like going over to the recent chapter, which we'll get to for very, very soon. It's nice having like a Kaneki and Aito team up. Remember, this was the same guy that got the 103 bones treatment. So, come quite a long way. Come quite a long way, if you ask me. So, just an interesting thing that I want to point out there. Like, yeah, 103 bones. Now they're working together. And they're in-laws. So, brother to brother. If I do say so myself. Kaneki's just kind of, again, going through the whole process, and then you have Uri just tell him, hey, just leave the stuff here to us, take care of Yanobayashi, and Toka leaving the world like, hey, you better come back. I don't want to go through the same shit that I just went through because of you and your stupid cognate creature wrecking through the city, because, yeah. And Kaneki's like, yeah, I know. We get to exactly what's going on. Suzie getting ready with his squad. You have Hiroko getting things on his end. Uri, Hishio, Ora, Mutsuki. They're getting battle stations ready too. And Donanto. Remember that specifically. Like, so yeah, let's do this. Bring it out. Bring out the dragon. And I'll say this. It's kind of where we've been for 165 and 167, because this whole thing's happening. Okay? This whole thing's happening. The organization members are striking. CCG and the Ghouls teaming up, taking out, doing their best to like take them out, because it's like, oh, well, there's this whole thing. It's like, oh, what an inconvenient mess. We have Kaneki and Ayato. Actually, no, that's 166. That happens. And then the chapter ends with this giant dragon creature, owl, ghoul looking thing. And I was like, we screwed up. Big time. We screwed up big time. And by we, I mean CCG, V. This creature's out and bloodlust is coming. Bloodlust is definitely coming, and that's exactly what happens in the chapter. That's exactly what happens in the following chapter, because this creature, owl, in a lot of ways. A lot of people thought it was Eto, which, do you still feel that way?
Well, I would like to save that discussion when we get to 167. It's honestly speaking, it's hard to really dissect. It's kind of messed up and funny at the same time. Where it was like the next chapter we're about to cover, it like once you see the title of the chapter, it's like, oh, okay, see, I was right. And then when you get to the end of the chapter, I wish I was wrong. So it's a funny FU from Ishida, maybe, I don't know, but then it's really hard to say. But I'm gonna hold on until we get to the latest. So do go on.
Okay, yeah. So everyone is like, we gotta take it out. This thing is gonna cause massive bloodshed, massive massacre, and that's what happens in the chapter. Like, it just takes out people left and right, ghouls and CCG members alike. And here's the thing, Suzuya and Ui get like the biggest violence in this chapter, especially Ui, because again, if you consider where he's come and where he is now, it's great. I don't know what else I could say. And again, Takeyomi doing his thing, Hiriko doing his side of things, and some of like the V organization members are like, huh, child of a split second to slow, depart from the world. It's like, oh yeah, you have the blood of Arima, huh? Well, about the whole thing, yeah. It's like this whole, not psychological, but definitely like taunting and just going along with the attack and like, shit. Taking out the members as best as they can. You know, Banjo and Ishiki are doing their side of things too. Get to Mutsuki and Uri and their end. Same thing with Suzuya landing a strike, cutting down the owl in a lot of ways. And it's like, oh yeah, and by the way, for now it's round 2. I'm like, wait, hold on, because this guy had his head chopped off at the very least, or at least half of it, vertically had his head chopped off, like a pear. His head was like kind of chopped off like a pear, and it's like, so you're still alive? Great, great. That's definitely reassuring, to say the very least. But that's where 166 ended off, and yeah, the owl just struck. It just struck and struck and struck to where we get to 167, and this, I'm gonna say right now, this is gonna be the chapter that we do break down since it was the latest one. Shit. All I know is I feel like I did poorly on breaking down like all the other chapters, but yeah. A lot.
So where to begin? No, just one thing I found it funny. It was like, you know, the chapter was okay. The official chapter is released on April 5th, but it is kind of hilarious that somebody would like to say this must be an April Fool joke. He has it's like why is that? Well, because the whole last half of the chapter was pretty much like reading a Jujin Ito that write the chapter. Basically, is the mangaka that is known for a horror style of the manga. Basically, I mean, yeah, they got the anime, which is not good, but but basically his reliance is on the art of the creepiness, the nastiness. So what the guy is trying to say is like this chapter kind of has that tone, and in some way it does, especially when you get to the last part of the chapter, the last pages, which really does reminisce a horror film, and I like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely got that feeling too when I was reading. I was like, shit, like you guys are screwed. Try to do something, because man, you're not gonna last much longer if you do just that. And that's exactly what happens in the chapter too, because chapter opens up, you're seeing like bodies flying everywhere, and we see the head, which has like the cross going around, and Nishiki, you know, like as this whole thing is like getting killing people, and Nishiki's like, the thing can still move. And you have Tsukiyama going like impossible, or yeah, past possible, and yeah, but we going like, did that not work? Hunby screaming Suzuya, and he's like, owl. He's still going in for the attack against the V organization member, and it's like, are they reviving? What happened to our front lines? And they're just all given like these stares, like, yeah, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. None of you are gonna make it. Not one bit. Finally starting to get used to it, huh? And here we go, making a sense. You inhaled the poison, didn't you? Poison? No, it is a blessing. Half humans are a twisted sort. Our children of V, Vasuki of the Sunlit Garden, they both live short lives, and because of an imbalance in their bodies. But if we shuffle off our shoddy coils and become ghouls, we are made whole. The dragon is our arc, essentially is what is being told. Or the translation that I read had said it is the arc of life, which not a little bit catchier, but that doesn't make it. And he even goes on just saying, yeah, Keisha was a fool. Had he stayed with us, he could have halted. his aging, his rotting, as could of those failed brats behind you, they really aren't half bad, you know. These bodies of ours? It's like, yeah, you get the shoulder. It's like, oh, not bad, but why? And again, most of it's just kind of like going on for the attack. It's over. We're gonna die. Ui going in, which is again amazing. Just seeing what Ui can do is fantastic. How's that?
Yep.
No use. Oh, go on.
No, I say yeah, I agree. But 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 about the whole V stuff, it starts to make a lot of sense. On because one of the big question I have with the whole scenario with Furuta doing this whole dragon thing behind while they acknowledge it, it was a little strange to me because even though it didn't answer the question of like what happens to the first dragon, like how exactly they took care of that one first time, and did they not get their wish of like basically destroy the symptoms of being a half human? So what was the story behind that? But basically, I guess that would be safe for another time, since that's not the focus. But the real focus is that they will actually purposely want the whole dragon to happen in the first place because that will help them to cure their symptoms, and it did. So now not only they have the good side, but they pretty much are negate the whole dying at young age, losing their eyesight, losing whatever. They negated that. So now they're free to be behind the scene again, and just practically rule the state, rule the country, whatnot. One like has been before, even though they technically break the bird cage, they probably will get it all back again once they take care of the entire CCG and everyone else. But what makes it very interesting is like how much it makes a lot of sense from the past, especially with Arima, say, because Arima has been before he died, he did drop a lot of info about like the half human, like why did he explain about his backstory and why they explained about the whole Sunlit Garden thing, why the half human is significant to the overall plot, which is finally coming to more and more relevant. The fact that like they do have like this problem, and the fact that like even though he wasn't entirely sure about like why they keep doing this experiment if they keep having these type of side effects, and he's like, I guess somebody just really wanted to see what happens later on or something like that. And if you really put it two together, I guess you can argue that this is probably the reason why the V backstab Washu is because Washu has been doing this for so long, but they never really have a perfection or a cure to it. So they just keep on going and going. And I guess you could say they hold a grudge in that. And to me, maybe that Washu didn't approve this approach of like, we're going to have a genocidal idea to cure us. And it's like, they probably thought like, that's freaking insane. Like, of course I'm not going to do that. I'm still being like CCG. So what they do, they probably just killed him. They just killed it and forced Furuta to be the mastermind and to be the bureau chief of CCG because maybe he didn't approve their method, which understandably so is insane. It would make a lot of sense now. And that's probably why Masuri has a massive grudge against V, not just because of that moment, but because they probably always have a grudge against each other. The fact that they're half humans, it probably would say like on one hand, Washu has been making a lot of half humans in their past, and some of them were like just die, some of them were loyal to the very end, and some of them were probably rebellion and probably started an organization behind their back. And maybe that's where the V comes from. Maybe that's why they're like, just instantly killed them and just try to kill Masuri because Masuri would have been the next throne. So that would not help to their benefit. So if they kill him off, which they didn't, but they did make him disappear for enough time for Furuta to reign over the entire CCG, then good enough. What also makes sense is that when Arima did say he knows that everybody's going to turn to Ghoul, is because this is a V organization idea, or more like something they really wanted to do. He didn't elaborate how they're going to do it, but he just knows that that's the approach that V was going to go for. And maybe that's why he did not say or respond anything about him being the one-eyed king, because they want to make it into secretive and they want to make them try to keep on searching. Then he has to make Kaneki into one-eyed king because, well, time is an essence. he was dying already. He was at the point that he's going to die. So the only thing he has to do is make Kaneki into king. So not only he'll be the king, but he will have a lot of followers, which will help which hopefully will help them to fight against the odds, which unfortunately that did not happen. But point is, at least he still got a lot of people behind his back. So hopefully they could correct the mistake. But that being said, the whole Arima, backstabbing, technically backstab V, because he didn't tell them about the One-Eyed King. He didn't go with the plan of to get this cure, because it's genocidal to even do that. And of course, he has his own personal needs of wanting to die, is because he's tired of being a weapon or being tired of being a killer. And that's understandably so. But it makes a lot of sense in terms of like the entire perspective. It's only missing what they done with the first One-Eyed King or first dragon, whatever. That's the only part where it's missing still. And I guess you could find out what's behind, what's their agenda, why they're like behind the scene, why they rule everything, why they control everything. So that's another thing, but maybe that'll be a part 3 thing, because now it seems like their accomplishment in part 2 has been accomplished with them no longer have a.
That's what probably happened too. I think most likely we're probably going to get that like answered in part 3. And like you said, it does explain a lot of things as to what it was that they were doing, but the whole One-Eyed King thing is still like, so what exactly happened there?
Yeah, that's still a mystery. But yeah, I feel like because of what happened here and the fact they do retreat, I'm not sure they're gonna come back to say like, hey, what's up? I'm gonna fight more. It feels like they just retreat and they probably call it a day for now. It feels to me that we just saw how they get their, I guess you could call it, for the lack of a better word, power up, which is pretty much just erase the problem in the first place and attain a ghoul side, because half human or technically ghoul, but it was like all locked up. But now that the whole toxin unlocks that, RC cell increase overload, but it not only destroy the symptom, but it unlocks their cognate within. So now they're good. So now they're actually much better than ever. But since they got that, now they become a 100%, 200% of a threat, because they were already a threat when the fact that there's so many of them and it's just like high class level, even, and they purposely could die now because they will always get regenerated. That's how much crazy they are now. So you could say now we have seen the true villains, and they'd probably be safe for part 3, and that'll be our reason. That will be our new target, rather than like in part 1 and 2, it's going to be CCG or Giddy or even anybody else from a ghoul side. Now it's just going to be straight up V and the clowns. You can go on.
No. That just kind of left me like a deep thought, like going like, yeah, you're right. It really could. It really could. But there's a lot that could happen. Let me just say that there's a lot. But
it's like huh? Oh no, sorry. It's like what I said. I see this moment to be the last cleanup from Ishida. Like, who I'm gonna kill this time? So this time I could lessen the character for the next part. That's the way I see it from this scenario, which sucks, but hopefully nobody I know and like the most dies. I hope.
I know.
Not. I mean, I was like, oh come on, really, Ishida, you killing him off? Although you got more plans for him. What the hell?
Just as long as we don't go back to what happened during the 24 word stuff, because that was a time. That was a time. That was for sure.
Yeah.
The troll game that Ishida played is like, all right, how do I mess with the fan base today? Okay, let's do Toka. Oh no, let's do Heenan. I'm like, it's not helping. It's like, no, let me recreate 143. Oh, what do you know? Perfect timing. 143. I'm like, thanks, Ishida. Thank you very much. Oh man. But
we shall see soon.
Yeah, we shall see very, very soon what'll happen there. And speaking about stuff, we do see Ui again doing what he's able to do, calling out to Suzuya. Suzuya says Kuri, and he's like, yeah, the blast tore off my prosthetis, and then, but I'm glad it didn't take my leg with it too. It's like, it seems the owl is unharmed. Yeah, something's wrong. It's like, I need to take up command again. You should retreat. And then we see Ayumu? Is it Ayumu? I know it's Hoji, but I think her first name's Ayumu, right?
I forgot the first name.
Yeah.
I forgot the first name, to be honest. It's been a while. I was surprised, though. I was like, oh, cool. We haven't seen her in a while.
I know, yeah. And She literally decapitated one of those ECG heads. Not ECG heads. ECG heads. Traitor.
What a traitor! Already a traitor. Damn. Talk about. Well, actually, that's spoiler for non-Attack on Titan fans. So I'm not even go there.
It's like, look, I'm the one behind everything. Come with me, and we can solve everything.
That would be a very strange but hell of a twist, nonetheless.
What wouldn't it?
Where did this come from? Oh, this I was suspecting Hida to be the traitor, but it was wrong. It was Hoagie.
Yeah, so no, but no, seriously, she literally decapitates one of the V organization member heads. I think even severs off one of their arms too. So that's a thing.
My arms. It's like Bleach could do it, and so can I.
He's like, I've read Bleach. I can do better than that.
And notice the Kagane got dismembered too, so there's that too.
Yeah, there's that. Like Misoto, OG. Milio protected me, but I don't think I'll be able to fight much longer. Several of my bones are broken, and thus you have some more members walking up. It's like, just leave me. You're no match for them alone. And OG's getting prepared. One of them blows the whistle, going in for the attack. What the? Why so suddenly? And like, are the black suits retreating? Which, yeah, it looks like that's the case. So you fight well. We've had enough. And then you get Hiriko, so they got away. What is it, Suzuya? And Uri's like, Quinks, Owl stopped moving. Which, robot? I don't know. It kind of looked like it's got like the metallic hands going, so maybe. I know, it's weird. It's very weird. It's like it stopped moving. Like even Hide is like, wait, what the fuck? It's the reaction he has going on. It's like, what just happened?
They were just missing Akani's reaction. Oi, 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 oi.
Right?
That's like, in a way, I imagine that when I read this chapter, like, I got a bad feeling about this.
I know. And then you got Suzuya from behind, and I don't know what the hell this thing did, but Hide said, get out, and then boom, blast hits. And typical Ishida fashion, cut away. So we have.
I was like, damn it.
It's like, so we have no idea what happened after that.
We just know V left and they all got blasted by something. And we still don't know if there's even a toe. So, before we switch to the scene with Kaneki and Ayato, I don't know if this blast just only kills them or the fact it could also spread the toxin, which that would suck because that means everybody in there would turn to ghoul, but we'll see what happens. And in the worst case scenario is the Q's one. Not sure how far away they are, but since they already have the Kagane, the frames and all that stuff, that will only do more harm than good, or more harm than their harms, if that makes any sense. Because they would be like, those guys would be suffocating, turning ghouls, which probably will end up killing them in the long run. But for Qs, they're gonna end up getting the whole ROS overload. So they're gonna actually get horns as well, or something worse too. So shit. but still, it does. I don't know what to expect. The way how it's positioned, it feels like Suzuya is gonna take a lot of blasts, the major portion of the blast, I think. Unless there was like a very cutaway scene that Uri pushed him away and then he gets the blast. I don't know. Would that mean he would die? I don't know. What happens to the Q squad? I don't know. I don't know what to think of. Unfortunately, we gotta wait longer. I hope we don't have to wait 2, 3, 4 chapters. I hope it could just happen in the next one, but doubtful, which sucks.
You know what sucks even more is like this is the last scene we get, and we don't find that until part 3.
Oh, come on, that's just too much. It's like, all right, let's start with part 3. Ah, phew, Uri is alive. Okay, Wishki's alive. Psycho is still in the hospital bed. What the hell? Where's Shao? She got killed. What? Okay. Uri survived. So I wonder where his best friend is at. Hiriko died? What the hell? Takeomi died too? What about the wife? Ito survived, but he has no arm? What the hell, man? What the hell? Suzuya lost both legs and arm, no limbs. What's going on? That would be a hell of a way to start the series.
It would, wouldn't it?
I think I don't think they would do that, but I think we'll find out eventually. But that would be too much of this if it
It
really
would. It
goes with
wouldn't
the
be good.
idea like, oh yeah, let's just wait to part 3. So then therefore you can find out what happens to these characters. That's just ridiculous.
It would be very ridiculous if you ask me.
Yeah. But but yeah, the way how it's positioned, it kind of makes you think like, okay, someone else is really gonna take the biggest hit from it. Suzuya seems like to be interpreted that he's gonna take the hit real bad if he really is the last person to be right in front of Udi and protect him. Will it kill him off? Shit, I hope not.
I know. I hope not either.
I'm like, if they kill him off, like, wow, really? I mean, here's a scary thing. It's like I said, I think I said it. I don't even remember if I did say it, but if I didn't say it, I'm just saying it right here. The scary part is, I think a lot of people falsely believe that this is the end of everything, mainly because a lot of characters has reached to their end point of the development. However, a lot of characters can gain a new subplot, a new just in general, just like a new subplot, a new criteria to follow along, to new like, oh, I'm now a leader of the entire CCG. So my subplot is, how can I handle that job? It's something like that. That'll be a new thing, and that's fine. Now the thing about Rare, every character got their development to the point that you can say if the series ends here, at least I'm satisfied because everybody got development. If the character die here, well, they got their fulfillment from all the development they had, so I'm not complaining. So that's the scary part, and that's the tricky part as well, because you could be like, okay, I'm gonna kill Suzuya off because I did enough for him. He got a lot of developments. He got a great ones. So now he could just say, I'm going to pass this torch to Humby, but I'm going to die here. But if I keep him alive, then I got more subplots in mind for part 3. Like, say, like he turned to a ghoul. Ooh, I got a good idea when he turned to a ghoul. That'll be a new subplot. So basically, what I'm saying is everybody has their fulfillment. Now, if it is, and that means nobody's really safe from death, which is kind of ironic when you ask me. But yeah, so that's the scary and tricky part. Everybody got their character fulfilled. Most, if not all of them, got their character to fulfill. Therefore, they could either die or they could survive to see part 3 with a new subplot in their mind.
Which, damn. It's a lot to juggle with, because considering, again, the V organization members, clowns are still out on the loose. Got that too. Yep. So adding this in, wow. We'll do a lot. I'll say that. We definitely do a lot.
Definitely. So, before we go shift back, I never got to finish about the whole Eto thing. I just still don't know that's really her. Like, the way how it plays off, the more I read it, it plays off as supposed to be a Fuju kind of way. Like, oh, okay, that was her. All right, like, yeah, like, oh, that is her. And then when you see the body, it's like, I guess that's not her. Like, fool you kind of way. That's the way I read, but you can still interpret it like, well, yeah, it is meant to trick you to think like, oh, there is somebody in there, but in reality, it's just a body, no head. Therefore, everybody's like, oh, I'm confused. I thought we could kill her, kill this thing, but if there's no head, how the hell are we gonna kill this thing? So you can still interpret it that way, to say like, well, easily, I just reanimate that body and play around with these fools. You could do that too, but it's hard to say because Ishida purposely left the capability of Donato's Kagane very vague. So we don't know if he could do that much. Like, man, I could really copy the entire owl with my cloning thing. Or I could really do a lot of attack or a lot of equip. I could do the exact amount of damage as Eto would have done. The real Eto, that is. It's kind of hard to determine if it's the real Eto body or it's just a clone. Or you could go with another approach where like, oh, it's someone else's body, not her. Even though it would be a perverter of me to say like, you're wrong, because look at this. Look at the body and shape. We're not dealing with Oda's character design for female, where everybody has hourglass. We can actually determine the difference. So, well, I'm not gonna go there. But I'm not gonna go there and explain detail because that will make me feel like yeah. I'm not gonna go there. My point is the body shape and everything resembles Eto. The only question left is that really her? And if that is her, like the real her, what happened to the head? Where'd the head go? What's the story behind that? Now, if that's not her, so maybe this whole thing was meant to be a trick because nobody knows Donato's ability. Nobody
No,
knows
nobody
his
knows that.
ability. Yeah, Uri still doesn't know. Hell, Uri thought he probably thought well, not kill him, but beat him down. Only to find out Donato was just trolling all this time. He doesn't know that. Nobody knows that. So everybody was like, "What the hell we're doing? The hell we're fighting? How the hell we're gonna beat this?" We just see a body with a cross, which I don't get what that means. Maybe it's really trolling. Is that body even a body? Is that thing is alive? I don't know, but we gotta stop this thing. So nobody really thought about like, damn, that used to be a person's head, but it's gone. Wonder why? Nobody thought of that. Nobody even think about anything else. Nobody even questioned like, wait a minute, this is Donato's doing. Guys, we've been fooled. Nobody says that. Everybody really believe and bought in that they're fighting something that they cannot stop. But the question of that person's identity or that body's identity remains unsolved. And that's another thing we gotta wait for even more. We gotta wait how many people will die or not die, and if that body really belongs to her.
On the off chance that it's not her, like, how would you feel if, like, I mean, sure, you could say it'd be a little convenient, but how would you feel like if it's not her and somehow this is able to reintroduces her back into the story?
Well, if it's not her, the body that is, if it's not her and she's actually alive outside, I do expect her to show up in part 3 because now the V organization got their cure and they're being more focused more than ever. And now everybody acknowledged them as who they are. That means they have their new enemy. So now that the birdcage has broken, this is the best time for her to finally get the payback she rightfully deserved or she rightfully seek for ever since she read the journal, the report from her mom. So I feel like this will be the best, well, no longer best opportunity because they left. The V left. So I feel like now if they're going to be at a sense of focus, that will be the best time. That is if she's still alive and not that body.
The other key aspect to Eto is Yoshimura. He's the only
We don't
character.
even know if
He's the only character still that we haven't kept tabs on.
we haven't seen him throughout the entire Red, and not flashback included. Not.
So
Yeah,
it's
that is
weird.
true.
It's really, really weird. Like, it's like, because again, we're nearing the end of Re, and no sign of this guy since the original series.
We don't even know if he's dead. Something tells me he probably is still alive, but I can't help imagine him looking like Rize after she was after she was free.
I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, it would be terrifying, but I don't know. I guess we just have to wait for this whole entire thing to end. And then we get to see like maybe a little more insight to get the better understanding. I hope. I'm praying.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, say the final bits of Re we see is like his side of things, maybe, and like that's how Tokyo Ghoul reacts. It's like, oh shit, maybe his side of the story becomes like a major plot point for part 3. So
maybe
who knows? Maybe that also ties back into the V organization members too, and with the clowns. So could work that way also. I know there's a lot of directions that
I know. I think that's what makes it interesting. If you got a lot of directions, you could think a lot of possibility. That's what makes it intriguing, in my opinion, at least.
It does. It really does.
So now we finally get to Kaneki and Ayato.
Yes, we finally get to deep within the caves, where Kaneki and Ayato make contact with Kimi, let him know that, hey, we made it here on time. She lets them know, like, hey, make sure to put on your ventilator, you two, Kaneki, just in case. They walk in, and Kaneki gets a flash of Rize, and I was like, oh, what? I was like, alrighty.
Yeah. This is like some horror film. Like, where is this ghost? It's like Fear, the game, if anybody remembers that.
And I know we mentioned earlier when we talked about the anime, but stuff like this, that is like, oh man, this stuff's really cool. Well, yeah, you're not going to see it in the anime, so yeah, good luck with that. Oh boy. Then you got Ayato saying the air's gross. Let's just get this over with and get back home half-ass. Back home half-ass. I still like him.
Oh god.
It's like, hey, don't be salty because he ripped up like half your bones back in the original series.
Oh, that's funny. I forgot to cover that. That is a funny reference. So I was like, oh, I just noticed.
Yeah, right. It's like, yeah.
He's like, got it. He's like, you took a while to say got it too. It's like, oh, awkward.
It's like the cave's just ahead. A bunch of passages branch out from here, and never mind. To which we see the chrysalis of the Mutos. Wait, wrong film. Wrong series. Mutos. I mean, it kind of looks like it, if you ask me. Being
Oh
like,
shoot.
with like being in the
Like-
cocoon and everything.
You
So like, is the
think
poison really be? Oh, wait, were you gonna say something?
I said you could think of Prometheus as well.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Prometheus. It's like, is the
Pico de
poison really
Pico.
being produced here? Let me take a look at your video feed. Seems the bastards produced by the root are being sent up to the surface, so we have to eliminate them here at the rhizome. However, the ones up here are not the not the poison producing type. You're going to have to go deeper. To which Kaneki says, understood. Go down deeper. Deeper into the core. And Kanegi's like, what's this feeling? I'm thinking about Rize because he sensed that earlier. And
yes, he's gonna cheat on Toka.
I'll be honest, if I was here right now and I saw these things like with those creepy smiles, I'd be like, hell no, I'm going back to the surface.
Yeah, right. Sure. I say hell no to every game I play that's a horrifying shit. You think I would handle this even better? Like, nope, I ain't playing this game.
It's like I forget, but there's like this certain plot point in like Gears of War 2, and it's like almost similar to this. Oh wait, no, it was like the lab scene. That's what it was.
Yeah. That I think that was 3 though. That was 3.
Was it 3?
Was it 3? Hold on. No, it was 2. It was 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
Was it 2? Yeah, I remember I remember one of those Twitch. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, like, with the sires. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, the damn twitching that they make. I'm like, oh crap, I got a bad feeling I'm gonna fight them. Am I?
Like getting out of there too was like. So,
I know.
Like, it's like you gotta run, just run. It's like whatever you do, get out of there and don't wait, because oh man, good game, guys. That mission though was a bitch. Especially when you consider how many of them just came after you too.
I know, right?
Yeah. So oh, go on.
No, I was like, if only there were the floods and I was the chief, I could handle them. I think.
And even that mission too, I was like, like the flood. Great.
Flood in part 3. That's damn mission.
So many things are referenced back to when I see these guys. Like, yeah, thanks. Thank you. Like, if this was a mission in a game, I'd be like, probably the one mission they go back. Huh?
It'll be the Silent Hill of the mission.
It would.
Oh shit!
It's like, how do we get down from this? It's like, what do we do? I don't know, but they're gonna bust open. Which, funny enough,
make
that
it first
actually
person.
does happen.
Should make a first person view. Oh my god, you are scarier.
I know that would suck. It's like, forget third person. If you see this like first person, I'd be like, no.
Don't worry, we'll make it better for you. Here's a goggles VR time. Have fun.
I can't even imagine that.
I don't want to imagine that.
It's like, yeah, say goodbye to sleepless nights. That's exactly. It's like I'm going to sleep. Oh shit! I'm picturing those things in my head. Stop now. Anyway, backtrack. Sakani's thinking like, yeah, why can I feel her down here? I was like the things disgusting and slippery. And Connie goes, hey, are you okay? Yeah, actually, the air's just getting fouler by the minute. I feel like we're inside a bug's guts. And Kanek's like kind of thing like, I don't think Aito can take much more. And this is kind of where the interference starts happening because Kaneki contacts Kimi. It's like the appearance of these bastards seems different than the ones from before. You're right, they're the poison types. So where it's and again, like I said, the connection starts going off. He says Kimi, she says yes. I can see something huge down there. And it looks like the oviduct is growing out of it. And again, more of the communication starts cutting off. It's like match scene ooze notes. Kimi, you're cutting out. Keep moving, is what Aito says. And then Kami's like, but Aito, you still need a guide. And I'm fine. Okay, let's hurry out. Then they start popping out. Hashtag, we're screwed for life. Hashtag, we're screwed for life. Hashtag, now commends instant replay mode. Constantly. Yeah, this would be the one mission where it'd be like, yeah, this is going to take forever to get past. That's for sure. Make it worse, this is where the chapter ends. So, yeah. I don't know.
Joy.
I don't know. First, the whole situation with Al and some of the CCG members to now this. There's a lot I could say. I don't know. I'm scared right now for all the characters. And damn, we gotta wait. Which is frustrating. Frustrating beyond belief.
Look at this way. It's not like there's a break coming up. Well, there's a break coming like in 2 weeks, I think. I don't know because of the holiday. It's supposed to be a double issue. I know that's Weekly Shonen Jump Talk, but there is a holiday, so it should apply to a lot of series, a lot of magazine. So at least we don't have to wait long for this one. Though whatever happens in 2 weeks, it may be something mind blowing, and then we gotta wait longer. So there's that. But let's not think about the future. All I know is that we have two big problems. One is that they got the one field. You got a big blast that just happened. Don't know if they're supposed to just kill them, but also spread the toxin. I don't know if that's the case. If it is, then holy shit, we're screwed. What else? Then we got this situation that even though Kaneki doesn't really have to worry too much, Ayato unfortunately does. And it seems like he's at his breaking point of losing air, which that's not a good sign. And then that last moment happened. It's like, oh, shit.
Like, why?
Yeah.
I'll be honest though, if this is where we got the break, oh, shit. It'd be like, are you serious? We have to wait 2 weeks for this chapter to come out. Luckily, that's not the case. So,
yeah,
that's the plus side.
That is a plus side.
Definite plus side, I can say. I mean, I would normally say predictions, but I don't know. Let me just say that.
Well, we technically just said it. Well, not really said it, but you could just say like, well, we just have to hope for the best. That's all we got. That's all we got. That's all we could do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's pretty much all we can do for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but aside from that, I feel like we covered almost everything, unless I'm missing anything else.
Well, we can't really talk about the movie since none of us has watched it.
No, which I think is a good way we can kind of end this off. So as far as the movie goes, I know it came out on Blu-ray. I'm getting my copy tomorrow, which will be fantastic to see, which I've heard is like a proper adaptation of the movie, or at least a more respectable version of the source material, which is always a plus. Always a plus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you guys are probably wondering, like, is the movie podcast going to be correlating with the manga? I don't know. I thought about it that way, but I feel like the movie itself is going to be something that needs a podcast on its own. So that's probably going to be separate. As to when that'll probably be happening, I don't know. I'd probably say either sometime next week or the week after next. One of the two.
Yeah.
And that's specifically for the movie. Now, as far as the manga podcast goes, and I'm going to be real with you guys, 100%, unlike last time, it'll happen soon. The next manga podcast for Tokyo Ghoul, or just Tokyo Ghoul in general, is going to happen next week. And I'm going to stick by that 100%. If I don't, you can all come and tag me. That's totally fine. I don't. I can handle the attacks. That's totally fine. So, yeah. If you want to send some giant owl and like blast me into smithereens, that's fine too.
Well, geez.
Actually, that's not helping either because I'm just thinking about that and I'm like, yeah. But this one, I just feel like I'm rambling on. So, aside from that, that's pretty much it. Sparta, it was really great having you on board again after such a long
Oh, it's
time.
definitely great. I know,
Especially,
but it's
especially if
definitely
it,
great.
you know, considering with how long the hiatus has been for each podcast, even though it's not something we try to do, but it's always great to have you on board.
Well, of course. I mean, like, hey, don't try to stress too much. Like, oh no, I'm late for the podcast, or oh no, I forgot to do the podcast. Life goes on, and yeah, we have our own busy schedule, so it's really not it's not really your fault, my fault. It's just life. It's just really
Yeah,
life. I mean, like if we have ability to never ever sleep, we would have done so many podcasts. We would have been on schedule, but hey, we have to sleep. That's just us. I
just
mean,
how things
again,
work.
we could have done. Yeah, I mean, again, we could have done a lot of things, but I keep falling asleep because my body just tells me go to sleep. Damn it, go to sleep. But yeah, but hey, we finally got to do it. It was better late than never, as I always say. So I don't.
Definitely.
I'm definitely happy to be back to do one more podcast, and of course, this won't be the last one. But yeah,
Yeah. And that being said, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm Lucky G7.
Sparda3g.
And we will catch you guys next time. Peace.